Hi. So here we are. Um, what is there left to say about Rise of Skywalker? I deliberately put off recording this video to give myself some time to think about the movie, which I saw a week ago, and to give everyone else a chance to see it, because many people I know didn't get to see it opening weekend, wanted to watch it with family, as I did, and often waited till after Christmas. So how does it fare as a movie in its own right? How does it fare as a conclusion to the sequel trilogy of Star Wars? And how does it compare as a conclusion to the whole 9-film saga? And I think, l- looked at in all three metrics, it doesn't work. So much of it feels like a response to The Last Jedi. That tried to push the movie in, or tried to push Star Wars in general, into new directions, to open things out a bit more, so that you weren't having, you know, everyone who has the Force comes from the same family. You know, anyone can be a Jedi. Anyone could happen to have this affinity with the Force. They require the training and the discipline, but that seed of talent they all have, and that's taken back in this movie. No, Rey's parents were nobodies, but her grandfather, well, then her parents were somebody because they were her grandfather's children, or child, or whatever. Um, but the reveal that Rey is in fact Palpatine's granddaughter, which assumes that either he used his Force powers to impregnate someone remotely, which it's alleged that he did with Anakin Skywalker, or he actually impregnated a person, a woman presumably, um, whilst he had the monster face. So it's it feels too much like a take backseat on that score. So much of the rest of the movie feels like fan service, of just giving fans what they want so that they will shut up and stop complaining. So we have the three main characters. We have Rey, Finn, and Poe all being brought together and going off on an adventure, saying, "Oh, that's what they always did in the original movies." It's not. Check. Um, we have we have Palpatine brought back, which was lazy and unnecessary, and there are so many more interesting things that you could have done in the final film in the saga than just bringing back the same villain all over again. It has the same problem, as a friend of mine pointed out, as Spectre just bringing back Blofeld and then completely failing to do anything interesting or original with him, aside from making him Bond's foster brother. You have plot twists like apparently killing off Chewbacca, apparently wiping C-3PO's memory, both of which are undone within an hour, so they mean nothing. They're cheap plot tricks. They're twists that don't actually stick in any way, and they're cheating. It's bad writing on the part of J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. And Chris Terrio, lest we forget, wrote Batman vs Superman, so he knows a thing about how to write a shit movie. We have a bunch of new characters introduced. We have the bounty hunter played by Kerry Russell, old friend of J.J. Abrams. We have a new rebel character played by Dominic Monaghan, old friend of J.J. Abrams. But we also have Kelly Marie Tran as Rose Tico, that's a big major character from Last Jedi, being reduced down to almost nothing, whilst these new characters are brought in. That feels like a slap in the face. The incorporated scenes with Carrie Fisher don't work, because a lot of them are just her standing around pulling faces and saying non sequiturs, which they then have to write around in order to fit her into the movie. And it doesn't work because it's just giving the fans what they want. Don't ask questions. Don't think about how you can tell this story in a satisfying way that will bring everything to a dramatically satisfying conclusion. No, just give the fans what they want. Bring back Lando Calrissian and then give him nothing to do. Tease that maybe he's got a daughter, but don't actually do anything with it. Have a big fight on a lump of the old Death Star, because you have to bring back the Death Star because it's a Star Wars movie. You have to have a huge armada of Star Destroyers because it's a Star Wars movie. You have to have them all fitted with Death Star lasers because that's the next phase up from having the Starkiller base, which is a big Death Star. Now you've got lots of little Death Stars because it's a Star Wars movie, and there are no original ideas anywhere here. It's an embarrassment. I saw the film with my mother, who's quite a big Star Wars fan, and she was quite disappointed. It just chose the weakest, laziest solution to every problem. It didn't do anything that was in it any way clever or interesting or original. It was just giving the fans what they want, and the general audience, people who like, drama that resolves nicely, who like things that maybe involve conflict. And don't get me started on the fucking Reylo fans, because that was handled so badly and so clumsily, because you had to bring back Harrison Ford because it's the last Star Wars movie. So Harrison Ford gets a cameo, and he's actually quite good, but it doesn't need to be there because suddenly Kylo Ren remembers that, he's actually a good guy because it's the last movie in the series, and he becomes a good guy again with no real conflict. Adam Driver's been wasted in these movies. He's easily been delivering the best performances in all three films, and they have pissed it all away. I wouldn't say it's the worst film of the year. I wouldn't even say it's in the bottom 5 right now, because there's been some real fucking shit this year. Dark Phoenix, fucking hell. But this is prequel level bad. But the thing about the prequels was, that was what George Lucas really wants to do. He got carte blanche to basically do whatever he wanted. And he made that. It was his vision. It was rubbish, but it was what he wanted to do. J.J. Abrams doesn't even have a vision. It is focus grouped into meaninglessness. There's a Doctor Who word for this, fan wank. Just giving the fans what they want, lots of fan-pleasing elements all thrown in with no thought whatsoever to how it all fits together. It's a complete mess. It's totally unsatisfactory as a film in its own right, as an end to this trilogy, and as an end to the saga. And looked at as a whole, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is 2/3 fan wank, 1/3 Rian Johnson making a good film, showing that he knows what he's doing, and getting shat on because he's not giving the fans what they want. Knives Out is at this moment the best film of the year. That should tell you how much they pissed away Rian Johnson's influence. If they had been able to do Knives Out and give him Rise of Skywalker, we could have had a really terrific ending to this Star Wars trilogy and the saga as a whole. Instead, we've got a bunch of old shit.